Today on Growing Idaho, people are moving less, but they are still moving. And the growth here in our area has less to do with people moving from out of state than you might think. Americans are moving less. That's according to a study from Point to Homes, a real estate marketplace. They say last year only 11% of Americans relocated. That's the lowest number they have on record. Researchers say with the more volatile job market and rising home prices, people are more reluctant to give up a home to try and find another one, especially if they're paying a really low mortgage rate they got during the pandemic. But as always, it's a totally different story in Idaho. People in this state are still very much on the move. More than 13% of Idahoans changed their address last year. That's the fifth highest rate in the country. How many of those folks came from out of state? Plenty, but far from a majority. Almost 28%, or 72,800 people, came into the Gem State from elsewhere, and the numbers are even higher in some cities in our area. Almost 38% of the folks in Meridian who moved last year came from out of state. More than 28% in Caldwell, more than 20% in Boise, more than 18% in Nampa. So that's still a solid chunk of people moving in from out of state, but it also means a vast majority are just Idahoans moving to a different place in Idaho. And only some are actually buying up real estate because renters make up the majority of those relocating, whether from within or outside the state. Why the big difference in movers between Idaho and the rest of the nation? Well, despite the continued rising cost of housing here, overall cost of living is still slightly below the national average. And there's been a big increase in remote work following the pandemic. So people can move here from a larger city, take advantage of that lower cost of living, but still keep their high-paying job virtually. But those cost of living numbers are changing for the worse here in Idaho. The latest numbers from the Council for Community and Economic Research says the third quarter shows that Idaho is now right about exactly on the national average. Will that slow down people moving into Idaho? Well, it hasn't yet. Coming up,